Thank you and welcome back to the second segment of the show for today. The guest is Mr. Clarence CKilcrease, and the topic is a profile on the radio career of Clarence CKilcrease. And of course, Mr. CKilcrease, before we had our first commercial break, you were talking about the opportunities that are available and how at one time it was quite difficult to become involved in broadcasting. And I think we were using as an example your relationship with Oprah Winfrey. Let's follow that up.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people say, well, you know, I never really bragged about starting Oprah off. A lot of people say, well, you know, she would have made it regardless. Maybe she would have made it, but nobody walks off the street and go into a TV station. Had I not hired Oprah to become a news reporter in VOL, she would never been heard. So I'm saying that her, and you know, and I don't take no credit for anything because she has talent. That's one thing for sure. But the talent was not discovered until she became a radio reporter, and then the station heard her. Now, I don't know what the chances are had not she gone, had not I hired her. But I do think that I had something to do with her career. It's nothing to brag about because I'm not asking for anything, you know. But it's something maybe you may want to put on your resume or something of that sort. But as young people, and I've received so many applications every day. People wanting to become a broadcaster, and you know. With all this new technology and everything, I see the young men here, cameramen, and they into the field. They're training, plus they going to school. And this is what it's going to take, Doc. It's not if I can get lucky hardly anymore. I mean, some people do fall, you know, they slip through the crack, but it's slim today. Today it's a different story today than it was 20 years ago. Yes.
And the most important thing is training. Training.
And the education to back you up. Because when you walk into, if you walk into NBC, you got to have credentials, man. Look, I'm a graduate of this. This is my specialty. This is my training, you know. And it's hard to get into any kind of field without any training. You just got to have it, yes.
You know, one of the most important things that I think about radio, Clarence, I think, and you can probably enlighten us here, has to do with advertising. Let's talk about that as a topic.
That's another thing about radio stations, because, you know, ratings are the things now. If your station don't have any ratings, then you don't get the advertising that you should get. It's hard. Black stations were slighted so many times. We got the crumbs. The other station, white station, would get the big dollar, and we would get what's left over. And this is a problem that the station had because they wasn't able to pay you as much money as you should have got compared to the other stations. You know, for instance, I knew guys who were in the mornings time, and in the black community, we would always take like a black rating, a black pulse. Okay. And we were #1 with the black audience. They were #1 with the white audience. And their salary was just like daylight and dark, you understand? But advertising, man, they wasn't fair. It was very unfair. I remember, man, when I became manager of the radio station, I would go out to these advertisers, and people who I thought had better views on this thing as far as race was concerned. I remember going into a place, and the lady said, who are you? And I told her, introduced myself in my car. She went back, never came back out until she said, I guess I'll wait him out. Maybe he'll have sense enough to leave. And this was like happening all over. You know you were not accepted, and when you walk in, you can just feel the atmosphere. Well, no, we are, you know, just all kind of excuses. But they would take your dollar if you go in their store, but they wasn't really advertising for your dollar. So we had a lot of problems trying to get advertisers. Today's systems where that the ratings are is the cake, it's the Bible really for radio. It's different between on a national basis. You have a national sales rep, where the national advertisers said, I'm gonna buy the first top 4 radio stations. I don't care what they are.
Okay, good.
You understand?
Okay, explain
so
that now.
you're gonna get that national business, but when it comes to the local, you can go to West End and ask these people out there, you know, unless they got some loud clothes or something pertains to black clothes or something, to advertise with your station. They're not going to do it. They're just not going to do it. Within your limits, around about mom and pop stores, stores, around on the corners in the black neighborhood. Well, maybe, but they don't have the budget. They don't have the budget to advertise. Advertising is so high now. You know, we couldn't go to Bill Meade, and I imagine a black station today could not go to Bill Meade and get advertising, because really, you know, I guess it's off limits. Is
the assumption that that these stations do not reach a clientele? I mean, because I think you've said that sometimes you reach more people in your community than anybody else. Well, what about some of the kinds of things that we all share in common, automobiles and whatnot? I mean, if you talk about
well, it's a different story, you know. The automobile, you know what we like. We like the big cars. But it's still hard to get advertising from them. You know, then if you don't, and I won't even call the name of cars, but you know what kind of cars we like, and you can see these cars. Every other car is maybe the car that we're driving, and it's still their agencies control their buyers, you know. But you still don't get the dollar as you would other stations. You still don't get the dollar.
Well, don't they know that we consume, or is it just the assumption that we're going to consume? We're going to ride in that automobile
That's
anyway.
It. You hit it.
And so it really doesn't matter.
You hit it. You hit down the. You hit the the nail on the head. I think that they know we're going to buy these cars. And by us not owning anything, owner of a dealership, or things of that sort, we really don't have any other choice but go to the dealership and buy to make a car that you want. It doesn't matter that you don't get that much advertising dollars, but so they kind of got your little taste. If we want to sacrifice that, well, I'm not going to do this, but how many of us want to sacrifice?
Yeah, that's
yes, and do that.
Yeah, and of course that I think that spreads not only in the automobile industry, but that spreads all across. Wherever.
It's better. It's better, but we still have a long way to go.
Yes. Very good. I think I spoke with the editor of an African American newspaper, and I think the same thing was true in reference to advertising.
Sure.
The assumption is, yet we buy more guns, more cars, more other things than you could ever imagine.
That Consumer Report is something else, man. It's amazing. You look at that report and say, this is unbelievable.
Right. And of course, let us take this final commercial break. We'll be back with our audience following this commercial break.